Another key influence in general from all of the socialist stuff we've talked about so far was Murray Bookchin, which we highlighted a little bit a moment ago. That was a big influence on the early Green Party. And in fact, Howie himself worked with Bookchin back in the day, so to speak. And they didn't necessarily agree on everything, but, you know, Bookchin was a very strong influence on Howie and the Green Party in general. And so Bookchin's background is very interesting, and there's not enough time to really go into it, but it's a very fascinating background. But where he's really important in history is that he was one of the first socialists that really started to think about what does it mean to integrate environmental ideas and ecological ideas into a socialist platform and into a socialist organizing strategy. Because up to that point, as he found out himself trying to organize with various Marxist socialist parties, many organizations and parties considered environmental issues to be bourgeois. They considered it to be not really an issue for the working class, not really a prime consideration or anything like that. And that kind of perplexed him because obviously as industrialization was growing, and he worked in the steel mills or iron or some, I forget exactly, but he did some kind of very industrial intensive work for in his youth. And he saw the pollution and the damage that did to human bodies and to the environment and all, and wondered, you know, like, we've got to be able to do better than this. We got to be able to have this mass society in a way that's also integrated with nature and integrated with ecology. And so he took the best of what he learned from Marxist philosophy as well as the anarchist, threw it together with what he learned about nature and ecology, and he called that social ecology. And the key idea of social ecology is that our environmental problems are at their heart actually social problems, that we can't really fix the environmental problems that we're seeing, like pollution and environmental damage and all, until we've actually dealt with the social problems, with the social structures that enable that environmental damage. And so in a word, we have to deal with capitalism before we can really fundamentally deal with the environmental issues. So instead of seeing it as a separate issue, Bookchin saw it as a fundamental issue to socialism, that we have to deal with environmental issues. Well, that too, but also we have to deal with social issues to deal with environmental issues, but then also you can start to tie environmental issues back to social issues because of things like environmental racism and all. So we start to see how, you know, environmental issues are so deeply intertwined with the rest of our issues, and that informs a lot of Green Party philosophy.